All
right.
That was different.
That was incredible. Welcome back to Premier League and Pints.
Hi, guys.
Episode 3, Week 2 of the Premier League.
Yep.
Yes, sir.
Another incredible week of games, hat tricks,
Red cards.
Red card. Oh, yeah.
obvious
We'll
red cards.
We'll talk about that.
PK's retaken.
One's not so obvious, but we'll get to it. One definitely was.
That's true.
We'll get to it.
But so we're excited. We're gonna get back just right thing we did
I'm
last
not
week.
excited.
We are not
It was a terrible
excited.
week.
If any of you know Brian, you know why he's not excited. So week 3, first game of the week is Everton West Brom.
Yeah.
Speaking of hat tricks,
Yeah, I think that's the biggest takeaway from this game was Calvert Lewin, right? Getting a hat trick. A lot of striker goals, just tapping in right on the goal line inside the 6 kind of finishes. So it's I don't know. It's good to see someone else other than like a big name scoring a hat trick. I would be okay seeing him have a good season.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, Calvert Lewin has been a player I think people had expectations for that he hasn't really gotten there yet. But I mean, starting off with 3 goals in the second week of games is a good way to get there.
And he got one the first week too.
Yeah, so I mean, he's hitting.
I mean, I'm okay if he has a good week or a good season because definitely not my fantasy forward. But no, and I know Garrett, you mentioned this last week that James would lead the league in assists or top 3 or whatever. But
it was an overreaction then. Could it happen?
He got his goal now.
He does. He
got his goal.
He looked incredible.
He looked really good.
And that's sorry. Go
no,
ahead.
you go.
I was gonna say that's another thing for like Calvert Lewin. Like he has people feeding him now. Like the first game, were you gonna say that?
Yeah, 100%.
Sorry. But yeah, the first game, like Richarlison took more of like a creative kind of role in the wing. Like he was kind of providing a lot to Calvert Lewin. And in this game, obviously you have what's his name, James now. Who's created how many chances you have him in fantasy? So
yeah, he was off. Every time he touches the ball, it seems like he's either playing a ball in or playing a ball wide. It's something to lead to a goal. Like you were saying, like Everton, I feel like has always been that team where like, oh, they're gonna be good, but they lack that one playmaker in the middle that can make things happen. And James seems to be filling that role.
That kind of
well.
leads into what I was gonna say. You said they always seem to lack that player. Is he the key piece that's gonna push them for top 4?
4? I don't know about 4.
But I mean, they played.
He makes them better.
They look good in 2 games.
I will say this that for some reason I've always been like, I want to watch the Everton games just to kind of see how they are, and so this year they're actually exciting to watch. Like I've actually wanted to watch them play. So I'm like, oh, it's on, blah, blah, it's Everton.
Yeah, I agree.
I've actually had fun watching the games. They've been attacking super well.
Yeah, I said attacking well. 71% possession as well. So, we talked about James and Calvert Lewin, but they dominated this entire game. Granted, it's West Brom.
It's
but
West
they
Brom.
completely, and they were a man down.
But yeah, that's what I wanted to talk about. The second biggest, takeaway from this game was the red card at the end of the game, which was an obvious red card. I mean, was it James, right?
End of the game?
James, what? End of the first half, sorry. So
James
tapped Kieran Gibbs, little after the play kind of thing, and then Kieran Gibbs went straight hands to the face.
Mm-hmm.
James sold it, but he got a red because of it. I mean, you can't do that.
Yeah, it's too obvious.
Yeah, it's purposeful force to the head. Like, you can't do that at all.
Purposeful force to the head.
Look at the rules. Look at the rules. It's in the EPL rulebook.
That's an incredible description.
Thank you.
But that red card either happened right before the second goal or right after the second goal, and you can tell the whole game kind of changed after that. And then even that was right before halftime, right before the whistle. And then the coach, this is the one I wanted to talk about. The coach kind of went to the ref and was hey, what? It didn't look like it was any cursing or any hostility going on. It kind of sounded like he wanted to understand some of the calls. And Mike Dean, I think, was the ref, just red card, threw him out.
Him.
Well, yeah, they had an interview with him after, and he even said that, do you know why you got a red card? He goes, no, I was looking for an explanation. I was just talking to him. He goes, I thought I was being respectful. He goes, I didn't curse. And he said he walked away, and he said I wasn't done talking to him, and he said he just he had enough, and he didn't warn me, he didn't say anything, he just threw me out. I was like, that's a little.
That's another thing. I mean, probably a yellow first, right? As the manager, you have that right to feel ask these questions. The game could be completely affected because, and if you're not doing it in a hostile way, I think it's fine. I think the ref was quick to give him the red and throw him out.
Random question: if you get red carded in the game, can you still talk at halftime?
I don't know.
Probably not. I think you have to go right to the stands.
Yeah. Right? I feel like that would probably not be allowed.
Yeah.
What a bad time. As a coach, what a bad time to get kicked out.
Yeah.
That's an excellent question. I never thought about that.
I didn't think about it until right now.
But the crazy thing was, before we jump off this game, right after halftime, West Brom scored a nasty goal, a free kick, really nice finish, and you're kind of thinking, oh wait, they might still be in the game, even though they're man down. And I think that kind of changed pretty quickly after, right? Didn't Calvert Lewin score? Or no, it was
Keane.
Kane
He scored literally 7 minutes later.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a big game.
And then after that, it was like another 10 minutes, and then they just said, we win.
I'll tell you what, this is the most I ever thought we would talk about an Everton-West Brom game. Not going to lie.
A lot happened.
A lot to talk about.
That's a lot to talk about.
7-goal thriller. Well, I say thriller, but 7-goal game. It's entertaining to watch.
Thriller. Thriller or something. I don't know if we should say thriller.
I think,
I think the next game's maybe a thriller.
Dude,
next game is definitely a thriller.
I think every game by this team that we're about to mention is going to be a thriller this year.
Yeah.
And that team is Leeds United.
So Fulham. Oh, God. Words.
We can't talk today at all. But great game. At one point, I was like, oh, this game's kind of over.
Signed, sealed, delivered. Maybe it was over.
It was 3-1, or it was 4-1 at one point.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, they're running away with it. And then before you know it, in 5 minutes, Fulham get 2 back. I'm like, oh crap, we got a game.
Mm-hmm.
Like, this was a fun one.
That's what's gonna bite Leeds in the ass, I think, later on in the season. Is they're so go forward, so attack, counter-attack, that they can get open up, on their own counter or the other team's counterattacks, which I think happened in Fulham in 2 of the goals. So it's like,
oh yeah,
they can score the goals. I think they know that's not an issue at this point. I think it's more of when
do you chill?
Yeah.
Like when do you sit back and be like, okay, we're up by 3. Like I don't want
the game.
We don't have to park the bus, but at some point do you move someone back?
Yeah.
Right. Do you just no? They are just like go 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 go.
They want to win every game by 10.
I mean, if you look, I think they're second in goals scored, and
probably.
I think in the league or tied for first. Maybe that'd be tied for first with who else scored 7?
Oh.
Poole.
Everton is 6. No, they won 2. They should have 6 total.
2 teams have 7. I'm pretty sure.
Oh, look right now.
All right, Leeds is tied for the lead. It's 7, but they also have 7 against, which is I think the problem that we're referring to here. But
Liverpool have 6.
I don't know if it's something that Leeds
Is it United?
I'm gonna kill you.
Sorry, good.
I don't know if it's something that Leeds did in the Champions division and it worked championship and it worked then, so they're sticking to their guns and they don't feel like changing because that's what obviously won them a bunch of games last year. But against better quality sides, I mean, again, it was Fulham, but against better quality sides, they can't give them that opportunity to get back in the game.
Well, not to get back in the game, but I think you saw that against Liverpool too. They played their style, but Liverpool, maybe again that quality of a team, they still win that game.
Right.
I mean, it's go go go. Granted, I know they were down, and it's at that point it's got to be go 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 get goals. But again, that's what a team like Liverpool can do to you. I mean, yeah, you go it over, they're still going to outscore you. I mean, a top tier team, unlike United. I'm just going to roast my own team today. I'm over them. But
overreaction. United gets relegated? ? Clickbait of the year.
I hate you. But yeah, like you said, a team like that, they can't play that way. You go up late against, City. If you go up 1-0 in the 70th minute, you keep pushing. City's going to come down and score 4 on you.
I trust. If you're up against City, just park the bus because we suck playing from behind. Moving on. Great game. Fantastic game. Maybe the best game of all time.
What does our note say there?
I believe.
What did I write down?
Brian,
what did I write down?
Would you like to read what it says?
United dog shit.
They were.
Yeah,
they were.
Their defense, especially.
So, yeah, they just don't know what they're doing. First of all, the lineup they played, starting Fosu Mensah. Who else? I hated the lineup. Yeah, they started Fosu Mensah. They started McTominay, and they started James. Okay, why? Why are any of those 3 in the game?
I don't get the hate for McTominay. I hate his face. I think that's
very hittable face.
Very punchable face, but
very much so.
I think he's one of your more consistent players from the games that I've watched. And if they're gonna be so they have a lot of attack. They have a lot of wingers. Their center mids are very attacking minded. I think they need someone like that in the field. That's just my personal opinion, but
I mean, yeah, I agree. He is consistent, but you don't hype up Van de Beek for this long. What they've been doing.
He's only been there for 2 weeks.
I mean, you look at all of United, social media. It's all it's been, and then and Solskjaer's been, praising him a lot, and then you just don't start him.
But there's more that goes into it.
I understand, but I know from the start, I knew that we were screwed.
I think he also hasn't played a full match in a couple months.
Yeah.
Really? I think that's what I heard.
And then it was that, and then
I think they canceled the.
They canceled the season,
league, right?
Yeah. But so, pretty much, I mean, it was just tough to watch. The first goal was the cross got put in, and Shaw was trying to get back. Lindelof made no effort. Ball went right across him. I think De Gea almost made an incredible save. He got a piece of it, but it goes in. And then after that, I mean, there was nothing. That's when, I think after like the 30th minute, United decided, so let's knock the ball and let's try and go forward. But it was pretty much, they were doing the right things, but the last ball and the finish just weren't there. Which, again, that's why I thought Van de Beek should have been on, because I feel like, I know he only played like 10, 12 minutes, whatever it was, 15 minutes, but he really did change the game a little bit for them. He came on, he got the ball, and he just kind of dominated possession. What pissed me off was Zaha. Before the game, they were saying, like, Zaha hasn't scored against United since, like, because he was part of them. And then, of course, his ass scores two. One of which, bullshit, PK. It was a PK.
I was going to say, should we talk about the controversial moment?
Okay.
If it's controversial, I don't know if
to me
it's considered controversial.
Not just because of United.
But it's not controversial because by the letter of the law, it's technically correct. Is it the law?
It's a bullshit
correct?
law.
Right. That's
so
that's
for those of you who don't know, there was a handball on Lindelof, and the VAR did their job. They went back and looked at it, I think a minute or two later. It was the correct call. It was a handball.
Correct.
So Zaha steps up, and he goes to his left. De Gea makes the save.
Zaha didn't take the first one, but...
Oh, yeah. Who's the first one?
IU, I think.
All right, whatever. Some dude. We'll go with that. Steps up.
We just said his name.
I don't care. So De Gea makes the save. And then they wait another, 30 seconds, 45 seconds, to then blow it back to take it again. The issue was they said De Gea left his line. Now, when you look from the overhead, his right foot is stepped, or his left foot is right. I think his right foot is stepped off the line, and his left foot's in the air, but it's still level with the line. Apparently, the rule is your foot has to be planted on the line before the ball's taken, before the kick's taken, before contact's made. Which, in my opinion, if you're telling me the goalie can't move on pretty much because you have to dive, you have to take that half step forward if you want any chance. So you're telling me now a goalie pretty much has to wait for the contact to move. At that point, if you're calling a PK, give him a goal. Because there's no possible way a goalie will ever save a PK if they can't be in that motion, and 9 out of 10 times that's what's going to happen.
But it's not saying they can't move. It's saying they can't move forward.
Again, that's where the issue lies. To dive, you have to. If you go to the side, still, you're never getting that ball.
Couldn't you just start further back, like behind the line? And if you're going to jump up, I'm just thinking.
You could if to get the proper dive, I guess. But then you're still if the ball's coming over.
Angles are still different.
Yeah, the angles are different. You're making contact with the ball on the goal line still, you never. So if you're going to push it, say if you have that extra inch or two off the line and it hits your fingers, it's the post. That's not going in. But if you're parallel with the line, hit your fingers, it's the post, 9 out of 10 times hit the post and going in. So it makes a difference. I think the rule, should be just even with the line. Your foot could be in the air, because if not, no goalie's ever going to make PK saves. And it's ridiculous.
Well, I wouldn't say no one. Didn't Allison just save one? This week or last week?
Maybe.
I think this week.
Martinez did for Aston Villa.
I think it was the same thing, though. I think his foot was slightly in the air behind the goal.
Well, then that's a consistency problem. That's
why
another
the rule
argument.
Is shit. That's why they should just be in line with it. And I was watching the game, and Dad, I know you're not watching this, but I was watching it with my dad, and he's not a big soccer guy. But even he saw the handball, and he goes, "Okay, they got the call right with VAR." And then once they did that, and even my dad, he was like, "Why are they doing that?" And I was like, I was furious. I'm like, technically, it's the rule. My dad goes. He goes, so they're just going to nitpick every little thing like that now?
That's VAR.
And I was like, yeah, that's it.
That's the definition of what VAR
exactly.
is.
So, again, I guess I'm not pissed off with VAR. I'm pissed off with that's the rule.
Right, it's the rule.
And isn't that, it's just a newer rule too, right? It used to be your foot could be in the air, and now they're changing it to it has to be planted on the line.
It's a very weird distinction for them to make. I guess it's easier to see, obviously, if your foot's planted or not. It's less up to the imagination.
Goalies would only make, the save 20% of the time anyway. Now you just screwed them even more out of that. I call BS. Anyway.
Life of a goalie.
Yeah. And then, as I said, they scored again. Well, Van de Beek comes on. He gets a scrappy goal. Nice to see him get a goal on his debut, but then Zaha again on a counterattack. And,
Crystal Palace is good at that. That's like their whole game plan, I feel like. That's how they scored against Southampton. They just parked the bus after.
Yeah. Like I said, United, they went out and they made their sign with Van de Beek and they're pushing for Sancho, but even after the game, their center back suck. Lindelof's dog shit. I'm okay with Maguire. I hate Lindelof. And then
Maguire gave the ball away so many times in that game.
This conversation has found a way to go full circle to the defense sucks, to PK problems, VAR problems, to defense sucks.
My team loses, I rant, and this is what happens. But the last thing I'm going to say, and this is how I know United is just in shambles, they literally said, like, 4 days later that buying a center back was not in their plans for the last 2 weeks of the transfer window. That's when I knew. That's what I'm like.
Because you already have millions of dollars contributed to one center back. You can't have all your money going to one position.
At this point,
either sell somebody. Then you can't just money doesn't just pop up.
No, they're trying to sell Jones, Rojo, and Smalling.
Who in their right mind is going to sign
Nobody wants
Phil
any of them.
Jones? No one. You're right. Because who's going to sign Phil Jones? Have you watched him play?
But no one wants Lindelof. No one wants Smalling. No one wants Rojo. No one wants any of them anyway.
Well, because they suck.
No shit. So I want to get rid of them. But the last thing I would say is this team is
the
just...
second last thing you're going to say, by the way.
This is 100% it. This team is bullshit. I'm done.
Next game.
Before we jump off, though, I mean, it's not going to be about United.
Now you're going to get me going
It's not about United. It's Crystal Palace. They're 2-0. Who would have thought they'd be 2-0 at this point of the season?
And
sorry, that's it.
Not against an easy schedule.
Yeah, and
no, they beat Southampton, who's supposed to be pretty good this year, under my standards.
What you said, like, their style of play is kind of sit back, bend, don't break, and counterattack. And it works.
I mean, that's a lot of teams in the Premier League, especially when they're playing better competition, which I don't know if we consider Man U better competition at this point.
You know what? Normally, I'd be kind of annoyed at you, but now, I agree.
Yeah. Next game. Dan, would you like to start us off here?
Yeah. Arsenal-West Ham. This was a really crappy game. It's just so frustrating after such a good performance against Fulham, even though it is Fulham.
Every time we justify, like, it's Fulham, it's West Brom.
Yeah, and I mean, like, they played so good. The forwards looked good. They were creating chances. Defense looked solid. And then this game comes, and it's like they forgot everything. The biggest thing I took away from the game is that we need someone to create in the field. Like, we had Ozil when he was in his prime and creating chances.
He's not in his prime anymore, no way.
No, he's
not.
Does
he even exist anymore?
No, he doesn't make the bench. So we haven't had anyone fill that void since he's gone missing. So, like, we need, like, some kind of attacking midfielder. What are you saying?
Back of a milk carton.
Put him on the back of the milk carton and missing shots.
Well, at this point,
gone missing.
Yeah, so the first goal. What was the first goal? Was it? I'm trying to remember. Lacazette?
Lacazette scored 25 in.
Yeah. Why can I not remember this goal?
It beats me, man. You're the one.
I watched it. But I remember the second goal. The second goal for Arsenal was, nice pass to Dani Ceballos, and he played across to Nketiah and just kind of sealed off the game. And I think Antonio scored for West Ham, right?
Yeah, fantasy points, baby. I beat Dan by the week. This guy's going to bring it up as much as I can.
Right around the 45-minute mark.
Yeah, so not a great performance. And then going into this, they have Liverpool next week. So
that's going to be a fun one.
We will chit-chat about that.
I'm a little nervous about that. But started off 2-0. A win's a win. Not great. I just think the biggest takeaway was knowing that, we need someone. We need to, like, strengthen this midfield.
I mean, looking at it right now, you guys should savor this. You're in third, so savor that.
I feel like you have a lot of midfielders that are, like, more defensive midfielders. Like,
can United have one?
Like, I feel like Guendouzi is more defensive. Torreira, when he plays, is more defensive. Xhaka just sucks. Ceballos, I guess.
I feel like he's the box-to-box midfielder, but he doesn't provide too much going forward, I feel like.
Like, it's like talking about Everton, like, with Hamas. Like, that's kind of, you guys need that Hamas.
Yeah.
Like, you need that player that, like, is always looking to go forward. What was that sound?
Like,
someone dropped something upstairs. Wait a minute. When you said you need that hummus, I heard you need that hummus. I'm sorry.
So you need some hummus. That's how your team gets better.
Guys, my head's mush right now. I'm tired.
The thing with the way they're playing is, like, they play with Lacazette, who drops back a lot. So he'll come get the ball. If they can get, like, some kind of midfielder that can run up, play like a 1-2 or something, then play one of the wingers on the outside, I think that'll work. They just need to find that player, because I don't think that's Ceballos or anyone that's in the squad right now.
It's going to be
have to do it, right, in the transfer window?
Yeah, October.
They're linked with, like, a couple players, but I don't want to
Arsenal's been linked with every single player in the history of Premier League soccer.
Messi
I think you mispronounced United.
It's also true.
What? Messi almost came at one point.
Yeah, the Wenger comment's like one of the best Messi quotes of all time.
Yeah, that was good.
Moving on to the next game.
Southampton
Spurs. This was a interesting one. This is the first game on Sunday or the first game on Saturday?
Sunday,
right, okay. Which, early game, 7:30, Eastern Daylight Time for us.
I know these are standard.
This was pretty much standards. We're not getting into this. It's I don't have the time.
For the record, guys, I'm not arguing. I genuinely don't know. I'm genuinely not.
I think it's daylight.
It's daylight because we're in daylight savings.
Screw it. The game, the podcast, the game. We have things to do.
So, an incredible performance by 2 players on Spurs. And Southampton had a crappy scoreline. Their back line was pretty much terrible in this game.
Lackluster, one would say.
Well done. But we kind of talked last week in the whole Bale debate situation about how Spurs needed help going forward, that they didn't have someone to play that final ball in. So apparently Harry Kane decided that was going to be me this week.
He decided that we don't need Bale. My job. I got it.
Although Bale, I think, slides right into Mora when he's healthy, in my opinion.
Yeah, Mora's crap.
And I think he surpassed his assist total last year in one game this year.
How many do you have?
I heard
he had 4 in this game.
Oh. Don't quote me on this because I heard it somewhere else, but I think they said he was the first English player to get 4 assists in a Premier League game or something like that.
I don't know. I'm not going to quote you on it.
I'll Google it.
Check it out. But the problem, yes, they were great balls played forward by Kane, but a lot of the times they were just dumped passes over the back line that Son ran onto.
Yeah.
That was, I think, 3 of them. Which, again, they're great passes. And coming from a striker, you don't expect him to play those touch passes over the top.
Yeah.
And props to Son because he finished them all off. Some of them were not easy finishes.
And you'd think they'd play a deeper line at that point. After the first or second time, they just played over the top and Son ran past them. Play deeper, you know?
Fool me once.
Yeah.
Fool me 4 times is kind of when you get to a problem. Kane had a goal, I think, called back, or he might have had 2 goals called back because of VAR or offsides. But they won 5-2, but Southampton had an array of chances in this game to score.
Yeah.
And they did score 2.
Danny Ings had a nice goal.
Danny Ings, Dan's favorite player.
He might be one of my favorite players.
They said Southampton looked better than the scoreline said. Their defense sucked. But going forward, they played well.
You're correct.
They have some good players going forward.
Correct? Yeah. Thank you.
Not the first ever to do for us, it's the first English, yeah.
Now you can quote me on it.
Quote him on it.
But Southampton's a team that, Swider had them relegated as of last week. But they're a team that could sneak into, middle table, assuming that they keep up.
That's where they were last year.
They're still 0-2. They're the 19th. They're still getting relegated. What are you talking about? They're still crap.
I'm going to throw something at you.
Throw your microphone.
I can't because I got to set it back up.
Yeah, exactly.
They lost
Crystal Palace.
to Crystal Palace, who we just talked about as 2-0. So I think Southampton could sneakily, just maybe 11th, 12th, fall around that midline.
No way.
But they just need to shore up that back line. That back line looked pathetic in this game.
Yeah.
Nobody wants to go to Southampton.
I'm trying to think, I don't even know where their center backs are. I think, Vestergaard, is he even one still? Or Bednarak or something?
I'll tell you who started this game.
But I think their outside backs are pretty good. They have Kyle Walker-Peters.
Yeah, but he got lost on one of those goals. He was just,
Stevens
he got beat
and...
Oh, Stevens.
Bednarak. All of them.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
Vestergaard's on the bench.
Yeah, but, it's hard for these, a lot of these, I don't want to say smaller clubs, but they are smaller clubs.
In comparison.
It's so much harder for them to do business, I feel in the transfer window than, obviously the bigger ones, obviously from a financial standpoint, but, also you need to be good enough on the field to, convince people to come and actually have, a project going. So it's, who are they going to bring in? If they are, do they have time to bring anyone in now for this window?
Who's going to be we're 0-2, let me go to Southampton.
Yeah.
I mean, you always have to find those hidden gems. That's where these clubs succeed.
Scouting.
Well, look at Leicester. I mean, Leicester at one point was that small club that had nothing.
Yeah.
And had incredible signings, and found a striker that was in a warehouse 4 years ago.
Yeah.
That led the league in goals last year.
But here's the other thing too. And I feel like this happens a lot too. Once clubs do find those hidden gems, then they have 2 good seasons, and then that's when the big clubs are hey, here's a number you can't turn down. Now you're mine.
Right, Varda's the exception.
Yeah, Mahrez is gone, Maguire went. Here's a boatload of money. Ours now. And they're we haven't seen this much money in 4 years. Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
So I feel that's what happens a lot too. So when things like that do happen, like you said, Dan, teams players want to go to the team that has something going. But when that happens, the players okay, they have something going, and then once that team starts to build it and they have those few hidden gems, big clubs are yeah, you're back to square one.
It's the case of the rich get richer all the time.
Yeah,
that's pretty much what it comes down to.
Yeah.
But yeah, Tottenham bounces back after a loss that in the first week. I don't know. Everton now seems to be a little bit more bigger club than we thought they were, but they still beat them.
Hot take, Everton make Champions League.
Ice cold take. Okay,
this is the game of the week for me.
next game. Newcastle Brighton.
Game of the week, yeah.
This was not the game of the
That
week.
was thrilling.
Brighton washed Liverpool in this game.
They watched Liverpool.
Wow.
They didn't play Liverpool.
Liverpool, Newcastle. I'll be over here. You guys can talk. It's fine.
So is it Malpai? Malpai? How do you say his name? Neil Malpai.
I don't know.
I just want to keep trying to say it. It's fun.
I keep trying to say because no one knows the correct pronunciation.
No, keep trying.
No,
Look
he
it up.
had 2 goals in 7 minutes.
Yeah, and we
On my
talked,
bench.
I think we talked
Sorry.
last week. It was the Sheffield game where you go down early. It takes a lot mentally to come over that.
Yeah.
Going down 2-0 to Brighton,
Yeah.
I think makes it that
At
much
home.
worse.
Yeah, and
You're at home.
Yeah,
Newcastle got the win against West Ham the week before, and they have signings. So I feel like, if you're going to this game, you think you're going to put in a better performance than that, right? Losing 3-0 to Brighton. So I think that's kind of concerning for Newcastle, but I guess we'll see.
I mean, I didn't have a lot of expectations for Newcastle going into this year. I mean, they're just one of those teams that sits around and sometimes gets a result, just kind of there.
Yeah, but they just
Brighton
brought in
makes
Callum
some sense.
Wilson,
Right, they just
Frazier,
you would think with all these signings that they were
Hendricks.
basically
Brighton made a
picking.
big signing. Adam Lallana.
You make the
7
word
years
big
ago.
mean a lot less, huh?
Yeah. Just messing around.
In what world is Lallana a big signing?
I don't know.
It's way past his prime, and he barely played for Liverpool the last couple of years.
I can't stand how he plays either. But yeah, Brighton gets a good win, 3-0 against
Yeah.
Newcastle. I mean,
A red card, too.
I'm sure they were pretty happy about it. What? But yeah, late in the
At
game,
the
they
end,
got a
yeah,
red card.
you know.
Not enough for it to affect anything.
Yeah, but I mean, other than so they scored 2 and 7, and the third one was in the 83rd. Other than that, nothing
Do you know
happened.
the lineups of that game? You pull it up real fast.
I can pull it up, Garrett. Who would you like to look at first?
Newcastle. I just
Oh,
want to see Newcastle. Has Frazier played yet?
He came on.
He came on.
Yeah.
Okay. I was curious.
He came on in the drumroll, please. I'm looking for him. I'm blind.
I know what I wanted to talk about. We're going to get to that later.
Came on in the 33rd minute.
Okay.
For
33rd minute.
33rd.
I mean, injury.
For
St. Maxim. That's not a
Yeah.
1-for-1
Oh, he did get
trade
hurt.
there.
Yeah.
But yeah,
What
so
are you saying?
we'll keep an eye on Newcastle. What?
Can you say you want to say something?
At the end, another topic to bring up later on. It's
Hot take.
something that pissed me off, and we should have a poll out if someone can go on our Twitter account. We're gonna get the results of that poll. So next,
I'm on Twitter.
game of the week, the actual what we thought would be the game of the week, but kind of got a little bit less exciting due to a very obvious red card. Maybe the most obvious red card I've seen in a while.
I've never seen a more
You
obvious
can't argue that at all. It's a red. And I think we have a Chelsea fan as a friend. I said that really poorly. We have a friend who's a Chelsea fan.
There you go.
That's
And
better.
he's like, yeah, that's definitely a red card. You can't argue that.
It's just
Wait, this one?
he literally wraps his arms around Mane's shoulders. Christensen
Yeah.
wraps his arms around Mane's shoulders with the ball in between Mane and Kepa and just literally tackles him.
And you got to think, I know it's hard to think in that split second, oh, do I let him go and have a chance on goal? Because he's probably in, but Kepa might have a chance to get a foot on it or something.
Then again, it is Kepa.
Or, yeah, true. Or do you take the red and be down a man for the entire second half?
At that point, just let the goal.
I would
think.
say, let the chance on goal, right? Because you can
It's not
come
a
back
sure
from that.
thing, right.
Yeah.
But man down against Liverpool, I don't care how good you play.
You're gonna run
Yeah,
all
you
all
guys
over.
just mentioned Kepa. The note we have here, Kepa's career done. It should have been done years ago.
This is the problem.
This
Is
dude
that
sucks.
with any big
He's so
signing,
bad.
big money signing, they get such more leeway than other players do. If any other goalkeeper, say the goalkeeper from
Palace.
sure,
Yeah.
Palace, had as bad of mistakes and as bad of games and fights with the coaches that Kepa has had, they would be gone in a heartbeat. But it's because they bought him for $90 million. It just looks stupid on them
they
to
don't
be
wanna look dumb.
right. It's like the egg on the face moment. Well, yeah, we did buy this guy for the biggest
Really
transfer for a
quick.
goalkeeper of all time.
Really quick. What the hell is that saying?
That's a saying.
I know it is, but why is it a thing?
Because it is, but it's so true. Any player that signs for
Great
big
answer.
money just gets such more a longer leash than any other player.
Yeah, and the expectations are so much higher on those kind of signings too. And if he's not performing, he's gonna get berated by the entire media, which has been happening.
And trust me, he's not performing.
Yeah, and I mean it's all deserved. I mean, he's had an attitude problem. He's gotten in trouble with coaches in the past. I just feel like Lampard is so ready to get him out the door, or at least get another keeper in the door because their backup isn't that great either.
Is it still
Caballero, I think.
Yeah, Caballero.
How old is he?
Caballero's got to be like 35, 36.
I think he's even older than that.
He might be, honestly.
But yeah, I think they've been linked with like a goalie. I think he's pretty close to signing, but we'll see.
They have to. I mean, you got to move him. I mean, Kepa's value at this point has to be like almost as low as De Gea's.
They're gonna take such a hit on that transfer if they try to sell him. Nice burn.
Yeah, I mean, you're never getting that money back. It's just wasted money.
Yeah.
I don't understand how you can justify spending that much money on a goalkeeper. Like, at this level, obviously there's tiers but like that's a lot of money.
Yeah.
To spend on a goalkeeper.
You could spend that on so much better stuff.
Like the only goalkeeper,
like a new bag of balls.
There's maybe like 2 or 3 goalkeepers in the world
cleats.
that are worth that money.
Oblak.
That is disgusting.
Maybe
I wouldn't say
Ter Stegen
anymore.
against Bayern looked terrible, but Ter Stegen maybe. I mean, Neuer a couple years ago maybe.
Yeah.
Buffon
in his prime.
In his prime.
Buffon, I give him $1 gazillion. It's not even a word, but I'd do it.
You're giving me egg on the face, but you can't say $1 gazillion.
I said gazillion because it's not a word.
It's worse.
That's more than a gazillion, you dingus.
But I mean, Chelsea looked okay. They're still on the mesh issue. Like they don't look like they're meshing very well at the moment. We again talking about high expectations. We put a lot on this Chelsea team this year to perform with $1 million signings. Again, they're still without a couple players, Pulisic being one of them.
Chilwell,
Ziyech. So I mean, there's still more to add, but that can't be an excuse for forever. I mean, there's a lot of teams that get injuries during the season.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
They didn't look great against Brighton either, too, and I mean that's a totally different level of competition than Liverpool. So like, the first 2 weeks haven't been great, and again, it's hard playing a man down the entire second half, so it's kind of hard to judge them based on that. But yeah, I think like even Havertz and did Werner play?
Yep.
Yeah.
He drew a PK.
That's like I didn't even really notice. Not in that game.
He drew a PK.
Not in Liverpool.
I'm pretty sure he did.
Oh, maybe he did. Did Alisson save a PK? I don't remember seeing that.
Alisson did save a PK.
Oh, okay.
I said that before. No one listens.
You questioned yourself right there too. All right, okay. So we'll keep talking.
I'm gonna run back into this.
Timo Werner draws foul in the penalty area.
Oh, that's right, because Jorginho missed the PK. Okay. He did a little jump. What? Well, I remember now. Jorginho did his stupid little jump PK and kicked it right to the keeper.
I don't understand. Like, why is that a thing? Like, just to go off topic real quick.
Sometimes.
Yeah. Why is the jumping penalty kick a thing?
I don't know.
Like, what happened in the old days of like just running and kicking it?
A 2-yard sprint and just bomb the ball.
Fancy.
Instead, you gotta like do a bunny hop now before you kick the ball.
It's Jorginho. What do you expect?
He talk about punchable faces.
Him and McTominay
are literally like the top. Like
the Mount Rushmore of
no,
punchable faces.
Who's the other guy from Chelsea we used to hate?
I don't know.
God, he played up top.
Diego Costa?
Oh, no. Is it Morata? He's talking about
That's him.
But Morata doesn't have a punchable face. He was just overrated and bad.
Yeah, that's probably not him. No, he just bothered me.
But, yeah, just off topic, punchable faces, McTominay and... Who are we talking about?
Jorginho.
Boys, we are
at the
not on
at
form
the top
tonight.
of the list.
I blame it because we normally do the show at
Wouldn't that be an excuse
7:30.
for like the other way though? Like,
No, because we're ready. Today I just feel like we're all just out of sorts.
Okay, there's 2 topics that we haven't talked about yet in this game that we need to talk about. I mean, the first was, Mane scored 2 goals. That's pretty big.
Yeah.
Like, I mean,
We should probably talk about the game a little bit.
yeah.
not punchable faces.
Yeah. I mean, Mane, he looked really good. And then obviously they were man up in the second half, so it was just attack, and Thiago came on, made his Premier League debut, and he looked pretty good. Like,
Good for him.
I think he only played a couple minutes, but he's.
I don't want to be the stats man this week, but I'm gonna pull out another stat that was said. So not like I'm not next gen over here. Like I'm just repeating what I've heard. Is that I think Thiago beat the entire Chelsea team in terms of touches.
Oh, he did.
And he only came on in the second half of the game.
Yeah.
I mean, you can quote them on that because I ain't looking that one up.
Yeah, that was actually 100% true.
I ain't looking that one up.
But it's so funny. I mean, yeah, Chelsea had the red cards. Liverpool obviously dominated possession for most of the rest of that game.
Yep.
But still, a player that came on at halftime had more touches than any Chelsea player. It's pretty insane.
Yeah. And then
Thiago's going to be a good signing for them, unfortunately, as a City fan. But
no, he's going to be a great signing. He's one of the best center mids in the world, and they got him for virtually I mean, what, $20 million?
Yeah, because it was a free transfer. Not free transfer, but like he was a free agent, I guess, in the terms of soccer world.
I thought he had like a year on his left on his contract or something, so he went like for lower than what his valuation usually would have been.
Yeah, because his
contract was running down.
Yeah,
gotcha.
But I mean, the one last thing we need to talk about is Kepa literally giving away that second goal to Mane.
Oh God, I forgot.
I mean, we spoke about so much shit about Kepa, and this is why, like, Exhibit A. Like, held onto the ball for way too long. Mane just pressures, gets a foot on it, and puts it in
But the best is he'll do that and then blame somebody else somehow.
That's my favorite part about him.
Like it's somehow
he had so much time on the ball.
This dude will let a shot go in from midfield through his legs, and he'll scream because nobody steps with the shot.
Yeah, like that's how he is. Yeah, I know someone else that used to do that.
No, I've let goals not in from midfield like 30 out maybe through my legs.
It's highly debatable.
Twice. I remember both of them clearly.
But a game that we had more expectation for, the red card kind of ruined it, but it was a red card. As just spectator wise, I feel like it got a little bit less exciting at that point because you knew Liverpool wasn't going to lose to a man down Chelsea.
Yeah.
But
moving on,
please.
Leicester host Burnley. Leicester won.
Leicester might be who has 7 goals.
Let me check.
It might be. Yeah, I think it is.
Because Vardy had 2.
They might have more. They might have 8.
They finished their first game 3-0, and this game was 4-2. They have 7 as well.
So it's Leeds and Leicester.
Okay.
Going back 25 minutes ago.
Oh, the L's.
Leeds and Leicester both have
4 goals. You expect to see Vardy on the score sheet, right?
Yeah.
But no.
But we do not.
One's an own goal. It doesn't help. With Eric Peters. Poor guy. I always feel bad for defenders. Like even if I'm watching the United game.
It was an unlucky deflection too, yeah.
When I'm watching United games and teams, that score own goals, like that help them out, I'm always like, yeah, my team's winning, but I'm like, I actually still feel really bad. I don't know why.
Well, I don't think anyone's seen someone score an own goal and go, I feel really good for that.
Well, no, you know what I mean. But yeah.
Leicester, I think they're starting the season off pretty good, even though they played West Brom and Burnley so far. I mean, they're scoring goals like they have to. They're only going to add James Maddison still. They just signed someone else, like Under from Roma, I think it was, who's like a pretty good winger. So I mean, they're making moves. Their defense is usually pretty good. Like Sionchu's really good.
Yeah, he's good.
I feel like they're a team of consistency. With the exception of when they came back from the bubble.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Or back from the 3-month break. Other than that, they're a pretty consistent team. They stick to the game plan they've been playing for the last 5 years. They sit back. They counterattack when they need to. Vardy will run till he literally drops in any game. Mm-hmm. But they have the players in the midfield to be able to move the ball when they have to.
Mm-hmm.
They have Tielemans. They have Maddison when he's healthy.
Mendy. I think he's there.
Mendy.
Yeah. Perez.
They're a good team. They're a consistent team. I feel like Leicester and Wolves are close to the same level.
I can see that.
Yeah. In a way. You know what I mean? They're consistent teams. They put in good performances. They have good players. They don't have the depth, I would say, that the other top teams have, which kind of that's why they drop sometimes. If there's any injuries, their drop off is much higher than any of the top 3 or 4 teams in the league.
Yeah, but I have to say, to that point, James Maddison's coming back from injury, and Dennis Pratt, I think they signed last year, has been filling in, and I think he had a goal and an assist, and his goal was actually really sick. It was a bullet.
We don't say bullets. We say piss missile on the show.
Whatever. I can use whatever
verbiage I want.
Oh my god. Get them off.
But I mean, yeah, they definitely don't have the depth that some of the bigger teams have, but consistency is their biggest. I feel like I don't even know what word I'm trying to say there.
Asset.
Yeah.
Next week's gonna be key for them. A big challenge with City.
Well, right.
Yeah. So I know Dan mentioned he said although they played Burnley and West Brom, we'll see if they're for real next week.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Moving on. I got nothing else to add to that.
Monday, thrilling game. Villa and Sheffield. Thrilling game.
I was actually excited to see this game. I just wanted to see Ollie Watkins play. That was my whole...
On your fantasy team?
Guess what?
He's on my fantasy team, but I was just... Because, he had a lot of goals. You like to see how they translate from Championship to Premier League.
Well, it was a rough day for Sheffield. 12 minutes in, they get a red.
Yeah, Egan.
Yeah. And then...
Good reading, Garrett.
And then 20 minutes later, they don't score a PK. Put a man down. Rough day.
That's unfortunate.
Emmy saved it. Got to shout out my boy, Emmy Martinez.
Oh, yeah.
Just joined from Arsenal. Gets his first star for Aston Villa and saves a PK.
Yeah, rough day for them.
What a legend.
Is there anything more just draining than red card, missed PK?
No.
And
they scored after that, right?
The red card was in the first 12 minutes. The PK was in the first 30 minutes, and then the goal didn't come to like the 63rd minute. So like you have a chance down a man to go up a goal and then just really sit back and pray you hold on. So this is a great opportunity to, well shit. Like you said, what's more deflating than that?
Yeah,
a PK and a missed PK and a red card in the first half.
It's one of those days where you're a player on the field and you just go, it's just not going to go our way. Mm-hmm. It's just not going to go our way.
And I know there was a lot of talk about the red card in this game too, because it was like another breakaway situation where the defender was kind of like, he was definitely grabbing onto the forward, grabbing his shirt, like kind of pulling over his shoulder and stuff. But it was 1-on-1 in the goalie, and like it seemed like it wasn't like a lot in it. Like I don't know if you can give a yellow, but the fact that it's denying a goal scoring opportunity, right? And there's no, he's the last man. Yeah. Like it's like it was like really, I don't know. I could have gone either way from either like a yellow or I don't know. I guess red.
It's kind of funny because like if it's. They had, like, that double jeopardy rule where, like, for PK situations, not for something like that, where, like, they're really supposed to try not to give, like, a PK and a red card in the same play unless it's, like, a obvious, deliberate, intentional foul.
Yeah.
Like, in that point, if you're a team, would you rather have the red card and give up a free kick outside the box or give up a PK? It's kind of the same conversation we had before. Or give up a PK and only get the yellow.
I would rather,
especially 12 minutes into the game,
PK and yellow,
right? Like easily. I feel like that's the better option there.
Yeah, I mean if you're later in the game, like depending on the situation, yeah, I'm going for the red card and the free kick all day, depending on the situation. But beginning of the game like that, give me the PK and the yellow, and still play with 10 or 11 men.
Yeah, it's unfortunate. And I mean, Villa didn't really take too much advantage. They scored one goal, it was 1-0. So I mean, they dominate possession. But like, well, right. They're a man up. Any Premier League team playing a team that's a man down should dominate possession.
Yeah. Unless you're United.
Unless you're United.
All right, well, Garrett, at least you guys were happy. Let's find out why Garrett's happy.
Wolves City. After last season when Wolves beat us twice, I'm terrified every time we play Wolves now.
You mean the Portuguese national team?
Yeah, literally. Was it today? They just signed Semedo. Another Portuguese player. I think they said Wolves... you could feel the entire team. Yeah, they're one defender away.
I think they're missing a left back.
They just signed. I think it's a center back. Or whatever.
Something.
Yeah, it's a center. I think because they just signed Semedo. They're one player away from fielding an entire Portuguese team.
It's so funny.
In the English Premier League.
Yeah. That's awesome.
Like it's so
I hope
random.
they get him, and I hope they do it. Just because that's incredible.
I saw the thing where it was like when international duty calls, and it was a picture of like Connor Cody, and he was just like.
Where's everyone?
Because the whole rest of the team is gone.
Yeah.
But what are they gonna do? That happens.
Pull the stats up real fast.
Oh, that's crazy.
So as usual, City dominates possession. But I mean, I think they dominated possession in both games. They lost to Wolves last year, so really not saying much. I've been saying that this is a big year for Phil Foden. I think it's going to be a big statistical year and play time with Silva gone. He's kind of like the obvious choice to step into that role. And I would say he's different. Obviously, Silva was a very unique player for a decade. But Foden's more of a attacking presence. He's not as creative, I would say, but he likes to goal.
He's more direct.
Right, he's a more direct player. That's a good way to put it. But it helps. It's going to be good for them going forward. If he plays consistently, which no one on this team is guaranteed to play consistently except maybe De Bruyne. Maybe. And that's with Pep's style of coaching, which drives me insane sometimes. But I'm just happy we got a win.
Just before you get off the Phil Foden topic.
Yes.
As a United fan, he's probably like the one player like on City that I'm like, damn, I wish we had like that young player. I really like him.
Well, right, because him and Greenwood are going to be talked about together because they're both dumb, and B, because they're both young international English players.
But I really like him. I think he's going to be like, he could, if he stops being an idiot and he plays the right way and he is consistent.
Well, you can still be an idiot and be good.
Yeah, but I mean, if he does stay consistent, I think he could go down. Like, either they can keep him for a long time and he could be, one of the better City players that they ever had, or they can get rid of him and offload him for a bunch of money.
If Pep stays, Pep's been big on Foden forever. He's been saying he's like one of the best players I've ever seen, one of the best young players I've ever seen. But the problem is Pep's contract's up, I think, in a year. So if he doesn't stay, I'm not saying like they ship Foden, but I just don't know if the same coach is going to have the same evaluation. I mean, he obviously produces. I mean, You know what I mean? He scored. De Bruyne got his first of the season.
Wait, before you jump on, like, did he have an assist too, or did he? I know De Bruyne should have scored a goal, and I think Foden passed it.
Yeah, I don't think he got an assist. I think he should have had an assist.
Yeah.
And then without Aguero, we had Jesus score late, which Jesus to me is just he's not a he's a good player. That's not a great striker.
Fresh legs.
Like he's not Aguero. He's not Aubameyang. He's more like a support forward. It's like he's not that guy you go up top, go win us the game and go score.
But the thing is, when you have people like De Bruyne
feeding you the ball, right? You don't have to be.
It makes you a lot better player. Yeah.
But
I get what you're saying. Like, yeah. I also feel like he wasn't making some of the runs that you have to be making as a center forward. Like, I was kind of watching a lot of the game, and he was just, like, kind of sitting around, hanging by the defender. Like, you got to peel off. You got to make runs and kind of, De Bruyne will find you.
Right. He's just, like, I don't know. He's not hungry to score. Like,
yeah.
Those forwards need to just, they need to be hungry. Like, they need to attack. Like you said, make those runs. You're not going to get the ball every single time. That doesn't mean you stop making the run.
Yeah.
And, I mean, he got one. I'm happy for him. Aguero's out for a while, so he'll most likely be in the starting lineup for a majority of the games. But we won. I'm happy about it.
Must be nice.
And I feel like Wolves didn't play bad either.
No, they just played City. That was their problem.
Yeah. So what?
These played City.
Man, you just lost to Crystal Palace.
That's why I'm pissed off.
All right, calm down.
No.
It's very loud.
You don't have to wear it. No one's making you wear it.
Yeah, but make sure you don't sound too loud, which you just did.
I will scream if I have to.
All right, guys, next game.
Yeah, that's next week.
No more
next
games.
Week's game.
All right, 30 seconds is going in a row. Brian, you start us off.
All right. 7:30. Great. 7:30 Eastern Daylight Time.
Well done.
Man U, Brighton. Listen, if we don't win, I swear to God, there's gonna at that point fire all the coaches, sell the team, and just play like the U20 team. I don't care. Realistically, I hope they come out with a better lineup. I hope Lindelof's out for Eric Bailly. I hope Wan-Bissaka's back. I hope Van der Beek starts. Other than that, I mean, they should win. On paper, they should win the game. But it's sad when I'm scared.
Paper don't mean jack.
It's bad when I'm genuinely scared that we're gonna lose. So I'm gonna go 2-1 United.
Okay.
That's what I'm going with.
You want to go next or me to go next?
I can go.
Okay, Everton Palace.
Everton Palace.
Oh, I mean, you can go if you want.
Okay, I'll go, sure. All right, Everton Palace. 2-0 teams. Maybe unexpectedly 2-0, I would say. Will the Hammerstream keep running? Let's find out. Another assist, another goal maybe. Does Zaha keep up the goal-scoring prowess that he now apparently has this year, even though he sucked last year?
Yeah.
I hope we see another exciting game. Like I said, I'm looking forward to watching Everton now this year. They seem like
such a weird thing to say.
It's true. I mean,
so weird.
Fans like goals. Everton has scored, or at least not that they only scored one in the first game, but they just look exciting going forward. Like you don't need to score for it to be exciting.
Who would have thought we'd be talking about Everton this way?
But they're just playing better soccer.
Yeah,
like, in the past they just haven't done it.
2-0 team. Something's got to break here. I'm excited. That's all I'm saying. I'm excited to see it.
Can we get a score?
Sure. Let's give an Everton 3-1 win.
All right, Dan. Okay. You have West Brom at home against Chelsea.
All right.
Very intriguing game.
I just think Chelsea will outclass West Brom, even though they haven't played great in the first two games. I still think they should go and
beat the hell out of them.
Win the games. I think hopefully I don't know how long Pulisic is out for, but I know he had a setback in his injury, so if he's healthy, hopefully he gets some time, maybe not start, but plays like maybe 10-15 minutes at the end.
Comes on late.
Maybe Ziyech will play, get his debut. I don't know. I just think I'm looking to see Chelsea click a little bit more. Again, they had the red card in the second half of the last game, so you couldn't really tell too much. I think Lampard has a lot to prove in this game, so he needs like a convincing win, I think. So I'm going to go 3-0.
All right.
Brian?
So Burnley at home against Southampton. Burnley, they only played one game, so they lost that one. Southampton loses both their games. So both teams,
desperate for a win.
Yeah. I honestly don't see a goal in this game. I'm being dead honest with you.
You don't think Danny Ings keeps it up?
No. Not at all.
He's gonna score a hat trick.
Just despite
he's gonna a hat trick in every game, for the rest of the season.
No, but I mean,
I don't know if that's
just I don't know. I feel like we mentioned before. Oh, Chelsea. Like they just weren't like clicking as a team. I don't think Southampton is either. I just don't see it in them. And then Burnley is just Burnley. No one really gives a hell. So,
I give a hell about Burnley. All Burnley fans, I give a hell about.
I think honestly, on the first one we did, I was supporting Burnley fans, and now I'm just saying I don't give a hell. I don't know what I talk about.
All right, next game.
I'm going 0-0.
Next game.
Garrett, you have Sheffield's hosting Leeds.
This is a good game. Yeah, no, this is exciting.
This is a bad game.
This is what we talked about. Like Sheffield's, we've praised as being a great defensive team that knows when to hold back, push when they get their chances. And we just talked about how Leeds is literally the exact opposite.
Yeah.
They're a team where their defense isn't stellar, and they will press you till you die, even if they're up by 3.
Yeah.
So I think the first goal in this game is very important.
Yeah.
I think if Leeds gets it, we'll see, like, do they adjust after Liverpool? I mean, 1-0, you don't have to adjust your game plan too much, unless it's late. So I think the first goal in this game, I think, is the most important thing to look for. If Leeds scores, do they just keep gunning? And if Sheffield scores, I think you're going to get a normal Sheffield performance where they score 1, and they just park.
Well, that's why just for this game alone, part of me wants Leeds to score first. Because Sheffield likes to sit back. I want to see Sheffield get forward and test Leeds' defense. So I hope Leeds gets the first goal because I want to see Sheffield try to go forward.
Right, like, will this continue another 4-3 week for Leeds? Like, is it going to be that type of game? Because that's not usually Sheffield's type of game.
Yeah, I don't think so.
That's not their normal MO. So I'm excited to see.
Score.
I'm going to say it's going to be 2-1 Leeds.
Okay.
No.
I think the goals slow down a little bit in the Leeds games.
Dan, you have Newcastle at Tottenham.
Ugh. All right. How did I get stuck with this one?
I have the good one.
Well, Bale's out, so he's not going to play. But I think it's all Tottenham. I mean, they have other signings. They signed, I don't even know how to say his name, Reguilon from.
Yeah, it's close enough.
From Real Madrid. It's an outside back. So.
Good.
I'm interested to see if he fills in for Davies. But yeah, I mean, I guess we're really looking to see if Kane and Son can continue.
Was it a fluke?
Yeah. Well, we know Kane's not a fluke.
Well, right. They're not flukes, but that performance was,
Yeah. But I mean, maybe he realizes, I can be more of a provider now. Maybe he starts getting more assists. 'Cause I feel like he's been known in the past to be like that point striker. Like you feed the ball into him and he'll finish.
I would love to see Kane in that role.
What?
I would love to see if he can play that role.
Week 2 overreaction. Does Kane lead the league in assists this
year?
year?
My lord, not again.
No, because you have that as James, right?
Shut up.
That's my reaction.
I think I had James top 3 in assists. Or top 2.
Okay, so it's still possible.
They both could be there.
Yeah.
Dude, if Kane and James are in top of assists, quote this shit, post it everywhere.
Hang on. We're on video, right? And we're on recording. If Kane and James are top 3, both of them, in assists.
No, you have to pick the third to make this really impressive.
The hell might have frozen over.
No.
What?
If they're top 3,
hell might freeze over.
If they're top 3 in assists at the end of the year, I'm staring right at you, camera. I will give Garrett $100. I'll check on it right now.
Okay.
Right now.
All right.
There's no zero. There's no lose for me.
Yeah, I know.
No, just because it's not going to happen.
All right, what's the next game?
I feel bad taking this one. I'll give it to you. It's Man City.
Wait, I didn't give a score.
Oh, you can score.
Dan, score.
2-0, Tottenham.
Here's what we're going to do. We have the City game and then 2 other games and the Arsenal game. You take the City game. I'll take the 2 rando games, and then you take the Arsenal game.
Sounds good.
Well, we'll all talk about that one because it's Liverpool too. But all right, so you have City and Leicester.
City and Leicester. Another good game. A test for Leicester, like we just said.
Yep.
Who's home?
Manchester City.
Okay.
At this point, I hate I don't even care. It's like
yeah.
It's all about it's traveling. That's pretty much all it comes down to is home and away.
I think they're driving 15 hours anyway.
I mean, not an easy start for City, although they're playing 2 good teams. We just talked about that. They're some of the most consistent teams in the league. Like they're playing Wolves first, they're playing Leicester next. I hate that Leicester plays in the exact way that's perfect to play against City. Like sit, counter fast.
Oh wait, so should I start that one dude? The Soy, whatever his name is.
What?
Should I start the Leicester Soy? What's his name?
Are you trying to say Sionchu?
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to say.
God.
He's on my bench. Should I start him?
I don't even know what to say. Like it's just so bad.
Tweeted us.
But
sorry. I felt like
sniffle one more time. I'm gonna hit you in the head.
Please don't have it.
Everybody knows, man.
I can't do it.
Allergies, man.
So let's see. I'm hoping
You're hoping or you're thinking? I don't want to hope score here.
I'm hoping to see a consistent lineup this year for City, which I don't think is ever going to happen with Pep. I know he said in their league game this year, the League Cup game, whenever they're playing, they're going to put a lot of young players in, so there should be a pretty consistent first team. I hope Foden keeps his spot just for consistency standards. I'm going to say consistency one more time just for fun.
One time.
You can say that word, but I can't sniffle. That's bullshit.
It's another game where City needs to score first, or they're in trouble, because Leicester loves to defend and counter, and City's defense just isn't sustainable enough to fend that off for the whole game. So
Score?
3-0 City. I think if they don't let one up, they're okay. If they let one up early, they're screwed, in my opinion, in that game.
All right, I'll do the next two because then you can get the Arsenal one.
Brian's talking. All right, doing something else to do.
I'll be quick. West Ham hosting Wolves. West Ham haven't won a game. Wolves are coming off that loss. I think both teams come out strong, but I think Wolves just outplay them. They're just better quality than them. Wolves are winning 3-1. You can quote me on that. Mark it down. Bet it. I don't care what you do with it.
Isn't everything we say technically quoted on here?
Don't bet it.
Don't bet it. It's a good point. Don't bet it.
Don't bet based on our predictions.
Maybe right.
Please don't.
If you do, though, we're not liable by any means. We're not refunding your money. And then I'm stuck with the other. I don't know what I'm talking about. I'm stuck with a thriller here, Fulham and Villa. I'm going to go. I already predicted this once. I'm going another 0-0 game. The game just sucks.
Brian's full of exciting predictions this week.
Come on.
All right, what's next?
This is the big one. This is the game of the week.
Dude, say that one more time, and I'm actually going to hit you.
This is actually the game of the week.
No, it's not.
You sure?
Arsenal, Liverpool
hosting Arsenal.
It is.
Did you do Villa Fulham?
Yeah, I called 0-0 on that. You pay attention?
No.
He did.
I said when you were talking, I'm not paying attention.
You literally definitely heard me because you said you're full of excitement this week.
All right, guys,
I literally
we're fighting. Let's go.
I literally still thought you were talking about West Ham Wolves. That's how much I listened to you on here.
Guys.
All right, so I'll get started with the Arsenal-Liverpool game.
Or the Arsenal fan here.
Brian's done talking. All right, I can listen again.
I'm not looking forward to it.
Fuck off, Garrett.
I don't think it's going to be good. I think I'm just hoping Arsenal put up a respectable performance. I don't expect too much going into Liverpool, but I think
Hey, you did just beat them like 2 weeks ago.
we beat them twice the last 2 times we played them. But I think we play them in the Carabao Cup too, like next week as well. So we play them at Anfield twice in like the span of a week. So don't love our chances, but again, I mean, there's no fans, so that's kind of taken out of it. But I mean, Arteta has Klopp's number at the moment, so hopefully we can keep this going. I think Thiago's going to probably have a big game. I think Arsenal.
Think he starts?
I think he'll start this game.
Think he starts? Okay.
Yeah.
I'm just curious.
And just knowing Arsenal's defense, like they got better, but they're still not great. Facing Mane, Salah, and I don't want to say Firmino, but he has a good goal scoring record against Arsenal. I don't think it's going to be great. I just hope it's a good game.
I think it's a good test for both defenses here.
Yeah.
I think because Liverpool's defense, we kind of mentioned the first week, were a little shaky. We didn't really get to see him much in this week because of the red card. But I think if Arsenal has a good enough strength going forward, that if they get some type of possession,
they just need the creativity.
Every time they play, it's always like a very back and forth. Like it's like 10 minutes Liverpool, 10 minutes Arsenal, 10 minutes Liverpool, 10 minutes Arsenal, 25 minutes Liverpool.
It's just whoever really takes their chances at that point when they have their, when they have possession.
Absolutely.
All right, Dan, final question.
What's the score?
Score.
I'm going to go 1-0 Liverpool.
Oh.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I have a hot take on this one. I think it's 3-2 Arsenal. I'm just saying.
Hey, nice, dude. Thanks.
Saying.
I appreciate it. I'm all for it.
I just feel like Arsenal's going to win. I don't know why. I don't know. I just feel
I'm all for it.
I feel it in the bones.
Talk about a bold prediction there. So we're running long on time. So we'll scrap what we were going to talk about. We'll push that to next week so we can talk about it a little bit more.
Okay.
Holy crap! It's been an hour.
It's been an hour.
Killing it.
So next week we're going to talk about the top 5 most overrated players in the Premier League. We're going to strengthen our list. Yeah. One thing we need to talk about, and can you bring up our poll, please?
Which one?
The only
one
poll
that sucks. Absolutely sucks. Or couldn't suck more.
Yes.
Okay.
So I'll read the poll that we put out.
I'll read the answers.
Okay. So we put, and I think every USA EPL fan feels this at this point. How do EPL fans feel about being forced to buy Peacock to watch the games this season? We gave them 3 options.
Okay, and by the way, that poll was put on @LeaguePints on Twitter. Give it a follow. Gotcha.
Nice plug.
So our 3 options were sucks, absolutely sucks, and couldn't suck more. the votes were in. 0% sucks. Okay. 31 absolutely sucks. 69. 69 couldn't suck more. It is the worst goddamn thing in the history of soccer. Why'd you do this to me?
And what's worst about it, like, first of all, you're trying to grow the game in the USA and you're making it harder to access games, which is already dumb in its own right. But what's dumb for me is, like, Peacock as an app isn't even available on, like, everything. Like, you can't get it on Amazon Fire. They just finally reached a deal with Roku. You can't get it on Samsung television. Like, it's to the point where it's, like, actually a process of, like, you watch on your laptop, you said, right, I think?
Yeah.
I have to watch it on my laptop, which is a small screen. So then I have to HDMI it to my TV, and it's like lower quality. Like I'm watching the best games of the year, well, at lesser quality, and I have to go through 4 different processes just to watch it. Like when I'm drinking my coffee in the morning, the last thing I want to do is be an IT guy. Like that's not what I'm trying to do every morning.
Yeah, like I said, I mean, and it's not like, you know, I know NBC had their NBC Gold at one point. But they would put, like, you know, a game like Arsenal and Liverpool. That'd be on TV.
Right.
But then they play all the, like, the, you know, the smaller teams, you know, on the website, which is fine. I understand that. But now I think they mention, like, out of the top 6 teams, like 50% of their games are going to be played on Peacock. So now, I mean, like, you're telling me on Saturday morning, if I wake up, right? You're telling me, and you plays at 7:30 Eastern Daylight Time, by the way. I figured that out today. If they play then, you're telling me I have to wake up at, like, pretty much 7 o'clock now, so I can go downstairs, plug all this thing, and figure this crap out.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
Are you kidding me?
It's 100%.
And I have to pay for it. Like, get out of here.
It's 100% like a business strategy.
It's a
too.
money
As much as
grab.
I hate to talk about it or say, it's just like the first game they played. I forget what was the first game that was really
Tottenham
big
Everton.
the first week.
Yeah.
Tottenham Everton.
Everton.
No, there was one big game that they showed on TV. Like, okay, gets you excited, you watch it, and then everything after that, they're like, oh, you have to get Peacock, blah blah blah, this and that, and then the big game last week, Liverpool-Chelsea, Peacock. So if you want to watch the best game of the season, you have to spill the cash. And,
hey, it's such a money grab from NBC. It's like almost laughable. Like they're not even trying to hide it.
And you know, it'd be a bit different. Like, I mean, but if they partner with like some other company, but Roku, I feel like that's like one of the lesser ones. Like you like Amazon, like Fire Stick. I feel like everyone has a Fire Stick now.
Well, the problem is
like Microsoft or Xbox or PlayStation, whatever it may be.
You can watch Peacock on Xbox and PlayStation.
You can.
Yeah, you can.
Okay, well, sorry, Peacock.
But
My bad. Give me a discount.
It's all business stuff. Like they couldn't reach a deal with Roku and Amazon. Like I said, they just reached a deal with Roku, but it's all about profit share. Like that's what they're arguing about, and like they're forcing fans to pay $4.99. Because I mean, not for nothing, there's no point to get the premium one because it's for ads and they don't show ads during soccer games. So if that's why you're buying it, get the cheap one. Is our suggestion. I mean,
it's
just gonna all it does is increase illegal streaming because people don't want to pay.
And then to touch on, Dan, your point, like you said, you know, the biggest games, like a lot of them, like you said, are on Peacock now. And, you know, I know, like the Premier League like soccer itself isn't huge in America, right? Yes, we do have, like there's some MLS fans, and then there's a good amount of people who are big Premier League fans, but if you're trying to like, grow the game, why are you putting like these big time teams against each other on something you have to pay for?
Because they want money.
Exactly, but if you really want to grow the game, then go back to
that's not what NBC wants.
No, NBC wants to grow their profit.
Then you know what?
We may want soccer to grow in America. NBC wants more money.
I don't know.
But like,
it's just tough. I hate it so much. I mean, again, I just wish, like, just for the sake. I mean, I know they want their money, but just for the sake of like trying to grow the sport in America, like, come on.
It'll be curious to see what next year looks like because it's like there's always that first year, but like if they get enough, like pushback from it, will they change it? Who the hell knows?
You know what they probably saw was like, again last year all the big games were shown on TV and some of the smaller ones were on NBC Sports Gold, which you had to pay for, but if you didn't want to watch it, you don't watch it. You don't buy it.
Still paid for.
But if you want to watch the big games, you need to purchase Peacock. They probably saw like viewership was high on the the channels like on NBC Sports and things like that.
Regular
NBC,
right.
like, oh, we can make money off this. Let's put it on our streaming service, so they have to buy it. And it's gotten a lot of backlash so far, and I think it's rightfully deserved.
Yeah, absolutely.
And like you said, about the pushback, the other thing it'll be interesting to see is like you said, maybe it was like new fans or newcomers were just watching this game because it was NBC. Like they're watching it before like some other sport comes on.
Like the casual fan's not going to watch.
Like maybe the casual fan just has it on NBC. And now you go on Peacock and maybe they see like a dip in their viewership because, maybe we just lost all those casual fans that we were trying to get. Maybe we just lost all those. Maybe you're right. Maybe they get pushed back. Maybe they take it off. They go back to NBC Gold and they switch it around.
But you can't tell me right now that a game shown on TV and the game shown on Peacock are going to have the same viewership. There's just no way.
No.
There's no way.
And one last point I'll make on this is like, when COVID's not around and everything, we like going to like a soccer bar. Like we have Darcy's by us, and like I know a lot of other people.
Shout out to Darcy.
Sponsor the show.
Other people will, also go to these kind of restaurants and places, and if they're not going to pay for the package, like you're not going to like have that experience still. Like, if we just go to a regular restaurant, like, can you turn on this game? Oh no, it's not on TV, so you can't watch it.
Right.
So that changes that.
You can't just go like to your local sports bar, like Darcy's a soccer bar,
unless they pay for it.
They're going to have it. Yeah. But like if we want to go, like just like we have
like Applebee's or Buffalo Wild Wings, or something like that.
Yeah. They're not going to have these like, can you put on the Chelsea Everton game? Oh, no, like, which channel is it on? Oh, it should be on NBC. You go on there, and half the time, I swear to God, I saw this the other day, it was like 11 o'clock, and the game was on, and NBC was showing, like, antique car auction. I'm like, are you kidding me? And, like, they're going to put that on, and you're going to be like, what? And I'll be like, oh, crap. Like, they're not going to have that. Like, so people are going to have to go to, like, legitimate soccer bars now. Like, you can't just go out and watch games.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
No, fuck you, NBC. There's a partnership going, but I don't give a shit. We're not getting paid. I'm sorry, I'm flustered now.
End of rant. But I think that covers what we needed to cover for the week.
Speaking of end of things, we should probably wrap the show up.
All right, follow us on social media. We're at League Pints on TikTok, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube channel. I think it's Premier League and Pints.
YouTube is just Premier League and Pints.
Correct.
And if you're watching, did you say that,
bro?
Yeah, I'm so sorry. I'm so tired.
That was the sentence he said.
Like it was the last thing I said before you spoke.
Did you mention on Apple Podcasts though, where we are? Premier League and Pints. If you're watching it and you want to listen to it.
If you're listening to it. If you want to watch it, go on YouTube. If you're listening,
I'm saying
go on
if you're watching it right now, go to the podcast and listen to it as well.
On Apple Podcasts and we're on Spotify.
Guys, I'm making no sense. I'm so sorry.
Yeah.
All right. Why are they going to watch it on YouTube and then go to iTunes and listen to it?
Because they're going to download it for us. Because they're nice people.
But like...
Guys, thank you for listening and watching. We'll see you next week. I got to go.
See you next week.
Go to bed.